Good evening, it's Shamila Ramjawan coming to you from the Red Corner Chat in Johannesburg, South Africa. And this evening I get to speak to Dr. Pamela Kemp, who is in the United States of America. Hello, Dr. Kemp. And
hello. Hello there, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. And how are you?
I'm doing great.
Well, finally, we can get chatting after the technical glitches. I think it's going to be awesome chatting to you. So do you want to start by telling me a little bit about yourself?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for allowing me to be your guest today on your Red Corner Chat. I was looking forward to this from the beginning of your first invite with the ladies. I responded immediately because I was just that excited. As you mentioned, my name is Pamela Kemp, or Dr. Pamela Kemp. I'll start with my education. I went to school early. I didn't start actually my education as far as my college is concerned in my early 40s. And the reason why I went back to school is because my set of twins who did not want to go to college told me this at an early age. So I said, well, you know what? If you guys don't want to go to college, I'm going to college. And if I can go to college, you can go to college. I had no idea the road that I was taking because I started out with 0 credits at 40 something years old.
Wow, that's awesome.
And yeah, and I started out with my associate's degree in healthcare administration because I was in the healthcare field. And then I decided to go back and get my bachelor's degree in psychology, which was definitely my interest and passion. But then I thought, well, you know, I counsel people and didn't even know I was counseling people. So I think I'll pursue my master's and get my counseling degree. And so I did. And afterwards I was like, oh, well, I may as well. And so then I pursued my doctoral degree in educational specialist. As I mentioned to you in my bio, I have 4 children. I have 3 daughters, 1 son. My last 2 are a set of twin girls. I worked in the healthcare field for approximately 35 years or plus. I worked as a foster case manager. I worked as a behavior therapist. I still work in the ministry. I'm an evangelist. I also counsel. Most of my counsel is spiritual counseling. And also I've worked in the school district as a substitute teacher and a mentor in a children's service home.
That's awesome. I mean, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world, and that is by Nelson Mandela. It's my most powerful sort of quote that resonates with me as well. You know, you can carry on and on studying and nobody can take your education away from you. They can take everything else, but not your education. So well done on that. You're such an inspiration. The global pandemic, how has that affected you and your work?
Well, it's kind of like a curse with a blessing because I've never been out of work for so long. It actually gave me the opportunity to take care of other things that I've not had a chance to take care of. I thought I was going to get bored, but actually I haven't been bored because it seems that my life went a whole different direction. For one thing, I've been doing a lot of writing. I've been doing a lot of journaling. One of the things that I look forward to is when I wake up in the morning, I not only do my meditation and my scripture readings, but I really seek God to say, hey, what are you saying to me today? What's needed for me in this day, in this moment? And also, how can I share that? And so being in this pandemic and having that type of time on my hand is giving me the do soul searching, to do some things that I enjoy. And I do spiritual affirmations every morning and I post them on Facebook. And I like to call them spiritual affirmations because that's what it does to my spirit. And I want to be able to just make something encouraging. And, you know, I always tell my children, dare to be different. Be who you are. So with all of that being said, I've been at home a lot, but I've been busy in a different aspect because I do a lot of phone ministry, since being, not so much in quarantine, but just being, inclusive, being at home. So.
Awesome. And did you get to spend time with your 5 grandchildren?
Well, actually, not as often, because everybody is doing the social distancing thing. And so they do live here in the city with me, but I haven't seen them as much.
And what are the ages?
Of my grandchildren or my children?
Well, all of them.
My oldest daughter is 42.
Wow, you look amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Well, thank you.
I'm not going to ask you how old you are.
My second oldest is 33. My twin daughters are 26, and my son is 33. As I mentioned, my oldest granddaughter, 23.
Oh my goodness.
My grandson is 20. My younger two granddaughters, which is my son's daughters, one is 11 and the other one is 2.
Wow. When you said 5 grandchildren, I thought they're little toddlers running around. I asked you, did you get to spend time with them?
No, but I talk to them either on the phone or we do a lot of FaceTiming.
That's wonderful. Dr. Kemp, what is your advice to people out there? I know you do a lot of coaching and counseling, especially at a time like this when everyone's, just mentally fatigued with COVID-19. What would be your best advice to people out there?
My best advice is to make sure that you manage your self-care. And when I say self-care, I mean like the whole entire being, your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit, because that's very important. We shouldn't lack taking care of ourselves and paying attention to what's going on in the inside of us. That's very important to me. When I wake up in the morning, we all have different mood swings. We have a lot going on in our lives and things just happen unawarely. And then you look up and you go, I don't even know what's going on. But that moment of taking that time out to be able to identify and have self-awareness of what's going on is a big cue to helping you be able to self-care and self-manage and self-regulate what's going on, not only around you, but within you internally.
Wonderful, such great advice. So we're all very excited about this new book that's going to be launched on the 24th of October, and I'm also involved in it. So do you maybe want to tell us how you got involved in that?
Sure. Actually, one of the ladies that's also a co-author of the book, Carmen Smith, she reached out to me and said, would you like to be a part of this? She said, we've already had our first Zoom call, but she said there could be a possibility that maybe if you reach out to Dr. Larita, it may not be too late. I said, I think that that'll be something I would be interested in. And so I reached out to Dr. Larita and she contacted me. It was just within a few hours. And we set up a meeting. Our conversation was wonderful. It's like the divine connection was immediately. And she said, I'll be more than willing to take you on board. I feel comfortable about this. She said, I'm going to give you a week to get your writing in, to get your story in. And I said, you have my word. I said, it's not anything that I have to think about. You have my word. But the ironic thing was when I began to get into my week, was also the week that my family had gathered together because I actually lost my mom. Due to the COVID-19, yes, in May. And so her birthday was in August and we had already planned that we would get together. So it was like family function was going on. Everything was pulling me from every direction. And I looked up and I said, oh my God, I only have 2 days left. I have 2 days left and I'm not even began. So I said, okay. I went in my bedroom, I closed the door, I grabbed my computer and I just began to start typing. And I did not stop until I was finished. It took me literally 2 hours to complete my story.
That is amazing. I'm so sorry to hear about your mom. I didn't know, but my deepest condolences to you and the family.
Thank you.
So do you maybe want to share a little bit about your input in the book? Just a little bit, just to whet appetites.
Just
We
a
don't want to
little
give away
bit.
too much. Remember, we want people to buy the book.
Just the tip of the iceberg, huh?
Yes.
Uh, so my story is actually centered around pretty much what I said earlier, being able to identify, being able to have self-awareness, being able to know what's going on with you, to be able to acknowledge some things, to be able to get to the bottom, get to the root of what you're dealing with. And so for me, that was my emotions. So I spoke a lot about my emotions, okay? I started just sharing a few things where I was emotionally, and then I'll end it by saying that something that stands out with me and always has for a long time is how do we as people, you know, universal, global, how do we as people not only identify with our emotions, but many of us are broken. And so a lot of people like to dance around that because there's a lot of avenues you can take to fix it. You can hide it, you can put on a facade, you can wear a mask, but internally, many people are broken. And that's something that really, really touches my heart. It really concerns me. And I can identify when people are hurting and when I'm around them. And my thing is, how do we go from brokenness to wholeness? And with that being said, I'm not saying that we are instantly healed. I'm not saying that we're not going to continue going through a healing. It's always going to be an evolving process. However, how do we get there? Where's the starting point? Where do we go from the brokenness, the pieces, the things that we've experienced, our environment, our experiences, things that have debilitated us, held us back, that has broken us, wounded us? How do we go from that to being whole? And that's primarily what my book was about, or my story, should I say.
I am so excited about it, and I can't wait to get my hands on a copy. You know, I saw Dr. Larita posting on social media, and she had the book in her hand, and it looks amazing, with all of us on the cover as well. So I'm so
Yeah.
looking forward to having a copy in my hands and to read all the inspirational stories from 17 different women. I think that is going to be phenomenal.
Yes. Yes. I'm too excited. I can't wait.
Yes, I think you guys are going to get a copy before me, but I will get one. And well, I'm going to get a few actually because I've got so many people that I want to give it out to read because I think it's going to touch so many lives. So let's talk about the title, My Pink Stilettos.
My Pink Stilettos. I've actually had people say to me, well, I don't think I want to buy that book. And I say, well, why is that? Well, and particularly men, of course, I don't think I want to read anything about pink stilettos. And I said, well, what comes to your mind when you think about that? Well, it sounds like something a woman would say or do. And then I began to, kind of reiterate and explain to them that the visionary that was given to Dr. Larita, not only that this is, as she says in her words, transactional, but it's relational. And so it's women from across the world, all walks of life, telling their story, telling a piece, giving something that will be inspiring and empowering to not just women, but men as well. And I said, and this is focused around breast cancer awareness. And they go, aha, I think I want that book. I think I want that book.
I think
So
it's
for me, I'm sorry. That, something that our society is very much faced with, cancer, all types of cancer, but we're recognizing the month of breast cancerness. And, I personally, my sister was diagnosed with breast cancer last year. She's now in remission. She's doing pretty good, but she went through a very invasive surgery and just a lot of, breakdown in her body, and she was very, very ill on her sick bed for a long time, and she's doing awesome. So she's an example. She's a living testimony behind that.
Yes, I'm sorry to hear that as well. So, Dr. Kemp, how many pages do you have in the book?
That I don't know. However, I know that I did write a 5-page Word document and submitted it.
Okay. Well, that is awesome. Well, as the ambassador, I think I wrote about 2 pages.
Okay.
Also, it was really pretty rushed because I was so busy, and Dr. Larita says, no, you can actually come on board as a co-author or the ambassador. And I chose the ambassador because I had so many things on my plate at that time. But I actually regret it now because I have so much to tell. Maybe another book, another collab with somebody. But just on the sales of the book, do you maybe want to share where one can buy the book?
I believe that the book is going to be released on Amazon. And outside of that, I know that we can also have a personal account set up through social media or website or however, and people can also purchase it that way through individuals.
Yes, and I also, I actually engaged in the chat the other day with Dr. Larita and a few of the co-authors, where she mentioned that if you buy 2 or more copies, you actually get a cell phone holder, which is a pink stiletto, which is so cool. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was so awesome, and I so need that.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be such an amazing book, and just to read everyone's stories, I'm so looking forward to it, and I think everyone else is looking forward to it, especially breast cancer, which is so close to our hearts. Yes. But something else that really intrigued me, and it was something that I wasn't aware of, that men actually get breast cancer.
Yes, actually, I was aware of that, and the only reason why is because I worked in research for over 10 years. And during some of the research clinical trials that I was involved in, we actually had trials where we did cancer treatment. And we actually had a young man, actually a couple of men that were diagnosed with breast cancer. And also I grew up with a set of twins, and one of the twins that I know was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow. Sure. So is it just mainly, I saw some of the stats, and I think the highest number of men with breast cancer comes from the US.
Yeah, I've read that before. I don't know as far as the stats where we are with that, but I do believe it's something that's becoming more prevalent, or should I say people are becoming more aware of it because it is so unheard of.
Yes, I think that is the biggest issue right now, is people becoming aware of it, because we pay a lot of attention to women in terms of breast cancer, and we leave out the men. But I think if more men get tested as well, then it's going to actually reveal a lot of different sort of issues with men having breast cancer.
Yes, I think that perhaps the book My Pink Stiletto is one way of bringing awareness, bringing exposure to it, and it being talked about more, where men don't have to feel shame about it.
Absolutely. Dr. Kemp, you've achieved so much. You've now written a book. Where to from here?
Actually, the fact that I wrote my story in that book, and I think about this, that story that I wrote is not just a storytelling story. It's true, it's reality. Everything that I said in my chapter is true. And it really helped me because sometimes I get stuck doing different things, other things on my mind, and maybe even perhaps procrastination. But this book, this storytelling that I told, my testimony, my personal testimony, was a framework for me to get started. Because once I actually really started plugging in, because I was pressed with time, which sometimes I function and I'm wired like that. I sometimes work best when I'm under pressure because I move really quickly. It gave me so much to not to have to brainstorm, because it was realistic. So I was writing. I went back into my childhood and I just began to start writing, and everything was just right there. It was just right there. So looking forward, one of my goals is to write my own book, which my family has encouraged me so many times to do so. But this actually, as I said, gave me a framework. This was the framework to go in and continue to write and just plug in.
That is wonderful. Congratulations. And I'm looking forward
Thank you.
to all your books in the future because I think you are such an amazing person. So I think you have an amazing story to tell. I wish you everything of the best going forward. But your last words?
My last word is be who you are. No one can be you better than you can. Take time, do self-awareness, do self-evaluation, be honest, be true, be authentic, learn to love yourself, then you can learn others, accept who you are, better yourself, and be true to yourself.
Wonderful words. Dr. Pamela Kemp from the United States of America, co-author of My Pink Stilettos. Thank you so much for joining me tonight and
Thank you so much for having me.
And I wish you everything of the best going forward, and we will definitely be in touch again.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.